Hello everyone! The school marks the most important stage in our lives, so it's impossible not to remember this period even years after we have graduated. Some people are happy to have left this stage behind, while others feel more nostalgic. Certainly, many good things happen in school. You find your first real friends, you obtain valuable knowledge, and you live crazy adventures. But it's a time full of annoying things too. Today, we're gonna get it off our chest and talk about it. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our entertaining and educational videos. Let's get it on! Teachers' habits. Let's be honest, school teachers are true heroes, no matter how difficult it is or it was for some of us to deal with them. Do you think you could keep calm while explaining the same subject to an entire class 100 times? Neither do we. But not only do they tolerate slow and lazy students, they also stay up late reviewing homework and filling out endless reports. The only explanation is that they do it for the greater good. But teachers have something else in common, something that happens in absolutely every country. Perhaps they receive secret instructions when they start working. Remember what teachers do if you ask them for help in the middle of the class? That's right, they walk up to your table and take on weird and inhuman postures, as if they were at an exorcism seance. How can this be comfortable? We have only one explanation for this phenomenon. Obviously, school desks are lower because of the height of the students, and the teacher somehow needs to see what the students have written in the notebook, so they have to try sophisticated yoga poses to explain something to the careless students. Morning suffering. Even if you've entered college or started working, you probably still need to get up early. However, school classes usually start earlier than anything else, so parents have time to get their children ready for school. And second, as an adult, you may be able to choose a more convenient schedule. A little dreaming isn't bad, is it? However, the sound of the first alarm clock is like a cannon, and the desire to sleep another 5 minutes won't go away. It doesn't matter if you go to school or work in your pajamas from home. Or maybe you're one of those people who do meditation and can get up at 5 a.m. because you feel rested? Well, then we don't know why you're watching this video. Probably nothing else bothers you anymore. Teacher's favorite. Imagine the following situation. You're trying to teach something important to a group of people, but only 2 or 3 of them are actually paying attention. How can you not lose your temper in such a situation? It's very simple. Make an effort for the few people who need it and are interested in what you are saying. Or you can forget everything and get out of there after slamming the door.
You science!
Unfortunately, the latter is not an option available to teachers. Therefore, often students who listen or who skillfully pretend to become the teacher's favorites. And that's why their classmates don't like them. But joining the elite of teachers' favorites is very simple. Just pretend you're really fascinated by the events of the French Revolution. We're sure that'll make any teacher happy. Bullies. Everyone who has dealt with a bully at school at least once dreamed of becoming Peter Parker and avenging their enemies. But unfortunately, not everyone is destined to become a superhero, so they cannot count on superhuman strength to prevail. The only thing left in these situations is to remind yourself that bullies are actually people with traumas and hatred towards the world. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to prove their superiority using physical strength. You can take the risk and tell them that to their face, so they'd have something to think about when they have nothing to do, although you might end up getting hurt. Homework. Sometimes you're listening to a dull lesson and dream of coming home and immersing yourself in your favorite PlayStation game. Everything would be perfect if it weren't for the endless homework from 5 different teachers. In the end, a long day at school turns into a long night at home with textbooks that seem to never end. All you want is to grow up and get a job as soon as possible. After that, no one will force you to stay home and do homework. You can do anything you want. If you agree, you probably haven't graduated from school yet. We'll let you in on a secret. The bills don't pay for themselves, the food in the fridge tends to run out at the worst possible time, and if something breaks, the videos on YouTube don't always enable you to fix things on your own. Now tell us honestly, what's better, this or good old homework? Going to school. In 2020, the trip to school for many people is the same, from the bed to the desk, or sometimes simply from the bed. But in the past, where everything was normal, you had to go to class, and sometimes this journey lasted longer than a whole lesson. It's not so bad if you go to school in a yellow bus like the ones we see in the movies. It may be crowded and tight, but still, in the world of school vehicles, this vehicle is the king. In the northern regions of Russia, for example, school is canceled only when the temperature is below 54 degrees Celsius. The rest of the time, students students are bound to reach the school on foot, traveling several kilometers under the freezing cold. To keep warm at least a little, their mothers make them clothes with dozens of layers, otherwise it would be very difficult to get to school. On the other hand, students in Bolivia who live in the heart of the Amazon rainforest walk along the edge of a gorge, cross rivers, and climb rocks every day to get their education. Think about that next time you are annoyed by the number of people in the subway. School lunch. You must have seen online pictures of incredible lunch boxes with healthy and appetizing food that some school children take with them for lunch. But honestly, not all parents have the time and money to do it, right? Most students have to eat whatever the school canteen serves on their lunch break, and it's not always the gastronomic masterpieces of a Michelin-starred chef. Most of the time it's simple, inexpensive dishes that make your stomach feel bloated. And in some countries, school children are served pre-made fast food for lunch, which is much worse than even the cheapest McDonald's burger. Hopefully you're eating something much healthier right now. Tests. You can skip classes as much as you want and not do your homework if you don't mind the teacher's reprimands, but one day the moment of truth will still come in the form of quizzes, tests, and exams, and then you'll have to pay for being lazy all semester, won't you? Well, what you actually need is to have a great imagination. Students manage to cheat in a million different ways. They write cheat sheets on their hands and on the skin under the holes in their pants, they put them in the hair of the person sitting next to them, or they put them on a tiny piece of paper under a band-aid. We could list the different methods for a long time, but we'd like you to tell us your favorite technique in the comments. Sadly, they won't help you in an oral exam. But the worst thing is that even the most diligent students don't always get a fair grade. Like any other person, your teacher can get out of the wrong side of bed or just have a bad day. And the scoring criteria sometimes doesn't make any sense. Why does everything have to be so complicated? No wonder that the main dream of modern school children is to become bloggers. Stupid rules. At school, not only do you have to deal with many problems and maintain your mental health, but you're also forced to follow a lot of very strange guidelines. For example, sacrifice your personality and wear a uniform every day that doesn't fit you or the weather. What kind of injustice is this? Why can girls wear skirts and boys can't wear shorts? But that's not all. Some students are also forbidden from chewing gum, using light makeup, eating lunch in class, wearing jewelry, or wearing their hair down.
Order the double cheese and sausage. Right here, dude.
The only place where there are no rules is this school in New Zealand. In this place, school children can do whatever they want. Curiously, thanks to this method, the students tend to be less problematic. It's time for educators to learn that this is how human psychology works. School toilets. The school bathroom is the only place where you can have at least some personal space, right? Well, we have evidence to prove otherwise. It's a little problematic to use the bathroom when the people in the booth next door are discussing the latest gossip, not to mention the fact that these places are not very clean. Something tells us that if Harry Potter wizards had to get to the Ministry of Magic through a school toilet, there would be far fewer employees at that institution. Bad teachers. However, inevitably, school teachers can be bad-tempered people, and then nothing will help you. Neither your effort in class, nor nice gifts from the class, nor open conflict. Try that and you may have even more problems. Classroom evaluation. Some students are lucky. They have teachers who understand young people very well. They ignore boring rules, discuss popular TV shows with their students, and make great jokes. Sounds like the dream, doesn't it? Well, things change when the school does a teacher evaluation and the principal or a committee member comes to class. Not only does the teacher start behaving differently, but you also feel pressure because you don't want to fail your teacher. In short, it's a stressful situation. Apparently, carefree life at school cannot last forever. Unnecessary knowledge. Imagine there's a person who decided to become an actor at the age of 10 and has been auditioning and filming since then. Why should they know about arithmetic formulas and chemical laws? It's common knowledge, older people will say, but the moment you ask them when was the last time they needed Hooke's law or the chemical formula for mercury nitrate, they don't know what to say. Boredom. Perhaps in the future all schools will have modern recreation rooms, like Google or Amazon. But so far, entertainment in educational institutions is scarce, so students have to do everything on their own, creating videos in TikTok, for example, until that crazy teacher notices you, of course. Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action. Only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.